Alright guys, so we're just going to do a quick video on our pizza sauce for today, tomorrow. So it's a nice, robust sauce that we're not going to cook. We're not making a marinara, we're just making a nice tomato sauce with some seasonings and some herbs in it. And most importantly, especially if you grew up in the New York, New Jersey area, you always have gotten pizza or eaten pizza that uses Sclafani brand tomatoes. Today we have a crushed tomato. You can get them either plum tomato in the juice and squeeze them, which I prefer, but crushed tomatoes are pretty good as well. And obviously look for the Jersey Fresh logo. So these are really good. These are favored in pizzerias, but just remember, we're not making a marinara sauce, which we would cook down. Some people like to cook down their pizza sauce. I do too, depending on what mood I'm in, but this is a classical New York style pizza sauce, and we'll get to it real quick. Alright, so I don't have individual cans of 28 ounces as per the recipe, so I've weighed them out. Right here we have about 28 ounces. Alright, it's almost about a liter worth of sauce. Okay, now let's talk about the hardware. You can use an immersion blender once you're done to blend everything, or which I like to do, you can also put it in a regular blender as you might in a restaurant. But sometimes you have way too much sauce, so you're going to have a blender that's like, maybe 10 times the size of this one. Alright, so there's only one blender in here and one hand mixer, so we'll have to share. So we'll put everything in here. Okay, so we got our container of sauce, 28 ounces. Okay, just be careful when you pour this, you don't want to slop up. Just go really quick, and you're going to save this container because you're going to put your sauce right back into it once it's done. Okay, now we're going to puree this. Just make sure you keep your station clean. We're just going to puree it until nice and smooth. If it's a little too much thickness, you can add a little water. Okay, and just keep everything clean. So we have our extra virgin olive oil as per the recipe. Put that in there. Okay, our pinch of red pepper flakes, our garlic, okay, powdered or granulated, right in there. Okay, our salt. Now we're not putting any sugar in these. This Sclafani brand has a decent amount of sweetness because they're really good tomatoes that are picked at the peak of ripeness, and they're very nice and sweet naturally. We're just seasoning this sauce to taste, because even some pizzerias just use it straight out the can without even putting anything else. But we're gonna go a little bit more the distance here. Okay, so now that we have everything in there, just zoom in a little bit here, put the cover on. Okay, and I'm going to pulse it for a little bit on high. Check it out. We want to be almost liquidy. Okay. So that's about good. That's what we want right now. Some consistency. Good. You see that? That's what we want. Nice and liquid. Alright, so that's about where we want it. Now let's pour it out into the same container that we have here. Okay. That should be a nice consistency. You shouldn't have to thin this out at all. If you want, some people put a little more water, but that kind of spreads the taste a little thin. And also, don't go too crazy with the salt, because the cheese actually has a decent amount of salt as well. All right, so now we'll label this for tomorrow, and you'll see that after a day or two, the flavors will really get nice and married together well. Just give it a nice shake and have it ready for tomorrow. Okay, now we'll get on to the dough as the second part of the lesson.